as an agency, we have been working exclusively for the mining affected community in Odisha, Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh. So when I say mining, though I am an engineer as well as a social science practitioner, the moment I say mining, many of the people start perceiving that we are one of the goons keeping revolver in our pocket and doing some firing and all. But you know, mining is having an inevitable part of this state. Let it be a media house or a automobile showroom or an animal husbandry industry, anything. You just check out. They have some relation with the mining in Odisha. So in terms of, as sir said, what is like green mining? So green mining is basically sustainable usage of resources, efficient usage of resources, usage of renewable energy in the mining, natural resources management, and most important, when we say mining, it is not about only the mining in the industry, it is also about the community around mining. So that is, as a biggest stakeholder, how we integrate them sustainably for the years together is a holistic approach of the green mining. Now coming back, how we are working in this particular segment in this our state. Recently, in last few years, we have been developing a perspective plan for the mining affected region. When we are doing this plan, on an average, we have now studied average 50,000 household or 30,000, from a range of 30,000 to 50,000 household as a primary survey, as a household survey. We have developed at least 300 to 400 village development plans in one mining affected block through a participated rural appraisal exercises. We have mapped almost majority of the assets in the rural ecosystem which are around the mining regions. So we have developed this such dashboard which is helping not only to the government but also to the industries to plan out through such big data. Because earlier most of the data was mostly from the secondary resources. Now we are building it to the primary resources. Recently we presented to the Tata Steel also. How can they use this data and to plan? So this planning helps us how there will be a best habitation planning. This planning helps us what should be the logistic plan. Recently we partnered with the IIM Mumbai. How can be the best logistic plan in the mining area for the resource efficiency? We are also creating some maps of natural resources management. A small thing I would like to share, in one of the study we came to know many of the water bodies have been lost in the mining region. The reason behind, due to the movement of heavy earth moving machineries, the topography is being getting disturbed. So the drainage pattern getting disturbed. So therefore this may be one of the vital reason for which the water bodies are being lost. So while we are doing the green mining, first thing we have been working extensively to create a robust mapping of the resources as well as a plan which help us to create a perspective planning. So that helps us one. In the second phase, what we are working, we are creating a very, in the mining after agriculture, so-called there are a least workforce who have been trained in a formal education system after agriculture. So we are India's largest body to create skilled workforce for the mining and allied sectors. In Odisha, we brought almost all the most advanced vehicle from the Volvo, Komatsu, Kobelco and everything. And we as a team tried to get the people from the village, from the community itself to get trained on this particular vehicle so that they can get engaged in the mining. So you must be surprised using the vehicle how it is green mining. These all vehicles are the resource efficient vehicles. These are very expensive. When we are training them, we say you are not driver, you are operator. When we say operator, it comes with a lot of sense of responsibility. We have developed so many virtual reality machines, simulators, AR and all, which has been enabled that it comes with highest resource efficiency pattern that they are being trained to operate in the mine as an operator. We claim to the mining industries, we are having a client base with almost most of the mining industries in Odisha as well as Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh. We claim them, our operator will make you ensure to attain the environmental management system approach, which is a very important part in the corporate governance. You can attain the ISO 14001 standard also by if you take our operators, because our course curriculum helps them to have the highest order of climate change aspect or resource efficiency aspect or how to use it. We are the team who brought to create workforce in the electric vehicle in the mining. Sir was from the Tata Steel. Tata Steel mining brought the first electric vehicle in the mining sector as a dumper, which is manufactured by Indian homegrown called Propel. We trained the people in that. So we are creating with the Repsol as well as the Naira Energy to create fleets of electric vehicle in the mining. So that is how we are trying to ensure it. Every year we are giving 300 people who are trained in repairing, maintaining the electric vehicle in the mining. So that is the second phase, how we are building a robust, skilled workforce who are being trained to ensure green mining in those mining industries in Odisha. So that is the second aspect which we have been working, and other aspect also we can discuss about directly.
Yeah, thank you, Stalin. Like technology plays an important role in ensuring sustainability of resources. So I will go to next, Pramod Babu. Like, how do you really ensure that the ecosystem where we do mining, they are carrying capacity in terms of water, forest and air is maintained so that the communities over there have a quality life? If you can throw some lights on your work experience.
Jai Jagannath, Bande Utkal Janani. Thank you very much, Tanmaya ji and Sambad group for calling me for this discussion. ମୁଁ କିଛି କହିବା ଆଗରୁ ନିଶ୍ଚୟ କହିବି, I am blessed. ମୁଁ ବଡ଼ବିଲ ଯୋଡ଼ା ଏରିଆ ରହୁଛି, ଯେଉଁଠିକି waterfall, जोटाकि rainfall 3000 mm होची, and we feel blessed we are getting the best rainfall there over the mining field area rather than the Bhubaneswar. Bhubaneswar is 1500, 600 rainfall. So beautiful environment. Told me how it will restore. Yes, it is possible, because the prosperity and peace cannot go together. If we'll say prosperity will be there, peace cannot go. Development is there, destruction will be there. So most important, what is your attitude to control the destruction and undeveloped deterioration? That is the most important. That belongs to our own attitude, because habits make it success. People do not decide their future, people decide their habits, and habits decide their future. In our mining area, in particularly Jindal Steel and Power, Jindal Steel, we are committed to restore the resources. First of all, the forest growth only when required we are cutting the trees. God has given all the natural resources inside the forest. You cannot do anything. Iron ore inside the forest, limestone, dolomite also they are. So we have to cut the trees, but we have to do the compensatory afforestation. So we have to protect them, and we have to take responsibility till growth of the trees, because you have to do the equal forest generation. Second is the air, because the world is based on the cause and effect. We should not work on the effect. We are working the analysis as per the data, but we are taking the data for analysis and implementation. Rather, we have to work proactively for implementation on the cause, because in the mining, generally we focus at the generation source of the dust. If we are controlling at the source, then dust will not go outside of the to the atmosphere. And then water, because water should not go without treatment to the natural nalas. That is our prime duty, because after doing the mining, the surface get exposed to the environment, and water get polluted. So we collect those water, we retreat it, then after proper treatment, we allow water to go outside if required. Otherwise, we have to do the ground discharge after proper treatment, or we have to collect the water for reuse of the garden, reuse for our haul road maintenance, and reuse in our industry purpose. And another is the soil. Soil is important, because when we are doing the mining, we have to remove the topsoil. At topsoil, generally we are gathering for the plantation purpose, for future use. So trees like forest, like air, like water, like soils, all those are possible to protect and restore. And most important is the less utilization, minimum utilization of the resources to keep them reserved for the future generation. So Jindal Steel is working on this for the restoration of the resource, proper utilization of the resource, and protection of the resource. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pramod Babu. We will come to you once again. Stalin, you shared about the participatory rural appraisal. And could you just throw more light on how do the community over there, they participate? Because what we have seen in the most of the mining locations, the tribal communities, they are less articulate and they do not speak, they do not demand most of the things. But how do you really ensure that their participation is part of your, part of whatever is the mining activities happening through your engagement with various companies? Could you please throw some light on that?
Absolutely. So when we go from the mining company side, so there is of course a part of resistance, because there is a part of displacement, there is a part of social advocacy and all. So in that case, we find a lot of resistance, but in many of the cases, what we have been doing through a PRA is with the help of the government machineries. We take the help of PRI leaders, which are the most important. So initial days, we bring all the PRI leaders to one forum. There we train them. We try to convince them through our tools, and we make them, the whole plan which we are making is for their development. It's not to grab their land, or it's not for the land acquisition. So this is only the model for which we are able to create a big data plans with a perspective planning. But as you said, sir, if you would have been going through the industry side, as doing just a simple baseline survey as a part of social impact assessment, so there we must have come through a lot of resistance. So that helped us, this approach helped us to create a sustainable data in a bigger way for the entire area.
Thanks. Pramod Babu, you shared about the way you are doing mining. Anywhere any mining is done, there is positive as well as negative externalities in terms of environmental impact. जो मैंने liberal economist or free market economist like Hayek and Milton Friedman, they said privatize, the externalities would be managed. But Eleanor Ostrom, the political scientist, who is the only woman, is a political scientist but got Nobel for economist, because she said that to manage the external negative externalities, you need the regulatory authority of the government to intervene and control. So how do you really manage so that the external negative externalities, especially impact on environment, the water, the carbon footprint, how do you really ensure so that it's not negative carbon footprint, but it's positive carbon footprint? How do you ensure that?
Yeah, you see, generally we face such type of incidents in society also, in my view of the economist, in view of the political, in view of the stakeholders. The first thing is you have to lead by example, because what you are saying you have to do in execution. That is the most important. And our regulatory laws are very much self-sufficient. We have sufficient laws in our Odisha, you can say in the central laws, the environmental laws, the state pollution board is there, the MOEF is there, those things are there. So first thing we have to commit, we have to integrate what we are committing, we have to accept, number one. And people should start believing, yes, we are environmental friendly miners, or we are environmental friendly industries. So that the gaps, the friction between the industry as well as the local stakeholders, that will be minimized. And you see, mainly the mining area, the vehiculars movement creates the carbon that we have to control through the electrification, electrical vehicles, what you was telling. So we have to substitute through the various renewable energy as well as electrical vehicles. Those things are also, we have started doing the solar power, wind power. so that the minimum impact will be there on the environment. And it is possible through the execution, means commitment towards our obligatory duties. It is not only the statutory requirement, it is our obligatory duty towards the society, towards the industry, being the important industry in the country. Thank you, sir.
Stalin, you wanted to throw more lights on this, please.
So as we know, most of the mines get exhausted after some time. So the whole process, the process says as we take the mines, as we take the land, we have to give back to the land in the similar way in the community. So initial phases, we start uprooting of the trees or removing the homestead land. Then we remove the topsoil, as sir said. Then we remove the OB, overburden. Then we do mining. So after it gets exhausted, we have to follow the same process. We have to put in all these things and get the vegetation over that particular land and give back that particular land to the community. This particular process is known as the reclamation. So when I say about reclamation and mines, they are very much attached. And we as a agency have been working across different states. So why it is very important? Because if you see, most of the people residing around mines have a dependency on that mining activity. So when the mines gets exhausted, their livelihood becomes into a stake. So having a transition from a mine-based economy to a green economy, this whole process is known as a just transition, which is a buzzword across the globe. That is something which Odisha is getting ready now. I'll give you a few examples. Odisha as a state is building no more a mining refugee after some years, rather they are creating climate champions. I would request, because I am staying in a media house, whenever we say a fund called DMF, now many of the Odisha people think it is a chit fund. So, but there have been best of the examples when most of the districts have been created around the DMF fund. Let us take the example. We have been a part of many of the intervention. In Jajpur, 350 acres of the land around the mines have been converted to a tussar plantation. It is not only a plantation, it is across the value chain. They not only plant the tussar, they also get the silk and supply to the certified, the whole value chain. You see another 300 acres of the land, same in a Jajpur, which is producing tons of guavas. And all the people who have been engaged are the women. So we are not talking about green mining. Odisha is also talking about the inclusivity, gender inclusivity in the green mining. That is the model we have created. You go to Keunjhar, same in the guava, same in the tussar. You go to a mining region in Kalahandi, 80 acres of coffee plantation. See how we are getting ready. Even though our mines is being exhausted in a few years, we are not creating mining refugees. Though it is, we have to scale it up, still we are building a lot of green jobs, green enterprise, building a robust institutions. Now many of the climate activists may question, when you are building such farm-based enterprises, it must have a toxicity, chemical toxicity in terms of soil and air and all. Let me tell you, sir and ma'am, when we are linking to the market, I remember when we were discussing with one of the top civil servant, he asked us, don't go for retail sales. We asked that we will process the product. They said, no, you directly go for a buyback, integrate this product to the market, integrate to a bigger farms like Mother Dairy or something, let them take this product for a years and understand whether our product is up to the standard and quality, they are not carcinogenic, no toxicity, then we will go for our processing. That is how we are building green enterprises across the Odisha, around the mining land, building the people connecting to these green enterprises.
Yeah, I think, Stalin, you believe in participation. We must have some question and answers also. So maybe one remark from you, Pramod Babu. The world has moved from green economy to rainbow economy. So it has a variety of colors. And Odisha has all the opportunities. How do you ensure that your responsibility is not just in the periphery of the mining locations, but how do you really contribute for the larger economy of Odisha or engagement in that? Like giving an example, if it's big mining is done at Keunjhar and the ore is taken to Paradip, the way you travel, the road you travel, you are also morally responsible for the development of the entire road. How do you ensure that there is also engagement for the larger economic development for Odisha. Maybe just in 2 minutes, then we'll take questions.
Yeah, we'll certainly complete. We'll be happy to know. We are putting the end user plant, the steel plant at Angul. It is the single location, the highest capacity steel plant we are putting. Just recently, we have increased up to the 12 million ton capacity steel. And also we are putting the slurry pipeline. We are putting the slurry pipeline from our mining area, our grinding and slurry, so that it will be very, very less impact on the environment. And more important, participation with the government for making the roads. When there is not feasible, also we are participating. We are contributing lots in DMA pond and also royalty, so that whenever required, because we should not limit our responsibility within the mining lease. Because where the material is going, like we are going to the end user, we are going to our plants, it is going to our steel plants area. So our responsibility extended up to that end. So it is a value addition, like slurry pipeline, economical growth of the dedicated corridor is required for taking the material through the dedicated corridor for transportation systems. So in the total prospective way, beyond the mining lease, we are participating, and the agent require and laws is their support. Our Jindal Foundation is working for the growth of society, as well as supporting the economical income source of the society in the whole. Thank you.
With because they have so much of experience, just have patience. We'll take few questions, maybe 2-3 questions. So there is a person who just stood up. Maybe just introduce and be brief in raising the question. Yeah, please.
मो ना हूँ इंजीनियर विश्वजित महांती माइनिंग फील्ड रे मु प्राय 12 वर्ष काम करिछि आज ए सिविल इंजीनियर कथा हूँ सार जहाँ कहले जे आम रोड को बंचाइवाई आम जदि स्लरी रे कौन माल आणुचंती दूर जगह को ताले से स्लरी रे आम एक रे पानी नष्ट कर मिनेराल मिसेकी पानीटा को नष्ट करदे पुणी आसिक जो डेस्टिनेशन सेठी पुणी ताकू सुखेकी मटेरियल्स बाहर कर से पानीटा को नदी में छाड़ी दौरान एटा परिवेश प्रति खराब नुहे कि एक दुई रे सार जो कहले जे आमे माइनिंग करूचु माइनिंग पर आमे सेटा को पोती दउछु एवं गछ लगाउछु अनेक जगह रे माइनिंग पर से खाल होइकी पड़िकी रहिछि माने फुट एंड फुट गभीर जो कि पानी वर्ष वर्ष धरिक रहुछि सेठी साप एवं विभिन्न प्रकार वन्य जंतु रहुचंती से पानी रो कोन आमे यूटिलाइजेशन करि परदा फॉर द बेटरमेंट ऑफ द एनवायरनमेंट.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? Please introduce and be brief. When I saw your enthusiasm in the previous session, so please be brief.
But my question was not taken in the previous session. I mean the first and second speakers. Anyway,
Yeah.
so I myself, Rajkishore Mahanti, I am retired additional secretary from Government of Odisha. My question to Stalin Babu, you talk of DMA fund. So this district mineral fund is a earmarked fund. It is meant to be utilized for the peripheral development of the locals affected by these mining activities. But recently, the present government has raised some objection questions that this fund has not been utilized for the very purpose for which it was created. So do you have any statistics that from Jajpur or Keunjhar district? So what were the DMA funds for the last 1 year only? And whether this entire fund has been utilized for the very purpose for which it was created.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
sir.
that's my
Thank
question.
you. Very, very brief. Any more questions? Otherwise, we'll go to the. Stalin, maybe to start with you, be brief.
So the first question, which sir said ki there have been many land sites which has been lying empty. That I agree. So that is what is a part of social advocacy. A lot of agencies are working on that particular aspect. But at the same time also I want to say that there has been also many sites which has been developed also. I would request everyone to go to Brajraj Nagar of Jharsuguda. So there are four abandoned mines in Odisha. One is Chendipada, Usipi, Nangul. It's not the conventional Chendipada. We have Basundhara, there are certain abandoned mines, and also Orient 1, 2, 3, 4. So one of the abandoned mines which has been developed to a beautiful ecosystem park, and also you can just visit that park just to have a glimpse that how mining operates, just like in the replica of the Seven Sisters in Australia. You can see a lot of beautiful floras and faunas over that. And as you said, there are a lot of water. Continuously it is being depumped or it is pumped out to get it through recycled and supplied to different periphery areas.
Stalin,
so that is what a model
just
we have
to
been
be disciplined on time,
Yeah.
do you have any information what he raised the question? DMF funds
So I
available
said
in?
the question who, sir said.
You respond to this, maybe he would. Because
Okay,
he is
by the
just
DMF
put.
fund, yes.
Okay, okay.
So that is one of the best model Odisha
Okay,
has seen.
perfect,
So
perfect.
maybe other model will come. Coming back to the DMF fund, so it is a matter of financial things, but as far as I know, many of the funds have been also utilized to create best livelihood models. And let me tell you, sir, the rule of the DMF says the funds will only be utilized in terms of livelihood, skill, enterprise and anything for the people who only belong to the mining affected block. That's the absolute mandate. What you are questioning is infrastructure. So in infrastructure, in many of the district hospitals are made, roads are made and so on. But that is a bigger question. But let me tell you, the claim of the government, when we build hospital out of the DMF fund in a non-DMF area, that is true. But the patients do also come from the mining area. So that is what the claim is that. But if I compositely answer, there has been a lot of livelihood intervention, skill intervention, or employment-based intervention that can only cater to the people from the mining affected region,
Thank
no
you,
one
Stalin.
else.
Thank you, Stalin. Yeah, Pramod.
Yeah, regarding your slurry pipeline, what you have asked, you cannot leave the raw water into the water main line. Okay, this is the first principle, number one. Number two, when you are taking the slurry, you have to take back that water again to the source. So what we have adapted. So we cannot leave the water as it is to the natural nalas or pond or river or ocean, so that it will pollute it again further. So before putting into the natural river or nalas, you have to treat them, number one. If not, generally now advising to take the water to the back to the source, so that again that water will be utilized for pushing the slurries. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, friends, and thank you, the good audience, for your lovely cooperation. If you just have a look, maybe just concluding remarks, आपण जे देखिबे विश्व रे जते प्रकार स्पेसीज अछंती, human species is only 0.01%, but the entire development initiative globally हेची एई स्पेसीज रो केवल प्रमोशन तांकर डेवलपमेंट एवं तांकर ग्रोथ पाए, बट वी हैव नेग्लेक्टेड द फ्लोरा एंड फौना जोटा बी इट माइनिंग इज एसेंशियल फॉर ऑल आवर डेवलपमेंट कहीं डेवलपमेंट इंडिकेटर्स आप देखुं पर हेड स्टील कंजम्पशन केते पर हेड द वर्ल्ड इज नॉट दैट बैड लाइक येस्टरडे एम्बर रिपोर्ट सेड दे आमर अल्टरनेटिव सोलार एनर्जी जी प्रोडक्शन करिसेंती वी हैव क्रॉस्ड the power we used to generate from the coal. So world is moving towards renewable and doing something which is sustainable. That's true, but at the same time there are few ideas, maybe when we listen or read to the reports coming from journalists, that creates a kind of ripple effect. Just an idea, if human species having only 0.01% of representation in the total flora and fauna, in India, we have our unique identity number. If we think of having a similar Aadhaar number for trees, will that be acceptable? So that if you cut one tree, maybe little bigger, calculating the carbon deposit or doing the carbon sink, if we create unique identity number for the trees, probably we are cutting trees, the CAMPA would be more effective. Compensatory forestry would be more effective because we have something to calculate. Similarly, per head consumption of energy is also one of the indicators. If we can promote alternative and renewable energy, probably that would be good enough. And to conclude, it's better to light a candle than blaming the darkness. अंधार को गाली देवा बदल रे जदि गोटे भी मोहम्बती जलैके आम समस्त निजक आलोकित करिपरिबा probably all of us can bring a huge difference. Thank you for your kind cooperation and thank you Sambad group for this opportunity to have this discussion. Thank you very much.